Welcome to the first episode of Dream Team. The idea of this series is to give my opinion on the best possible team for the current game week and try to get as high result as possible. This will be especially helpful for people which have decided to use their free hit chip or even wildcards. This is merely my take and opinion on the future performance of the players in the team for the current game week, and I do not take any responsibility for any bad results. So now, let's go through the team for game week 9 and explain my thoughts behind it. For my starting goalkeeper, I have selected Rui Patricio. Patricio currently has the second most points amongst all goalkeepers. He has 4 clean sheets from 8 games and was one of the best 3 players in Wolves' matches last 2 game weeks. Against the team of Watford, who are struggling to find the net in the last 2 matches, Patricio seems like a likely candidate for a clean sheet or some bonuses. As my first defender in my starting 11, I have selected Matt Doherty. Matt Doherty is currently one of the best defenders this season. The right back proves to be a valuable asset with his 4 clean sheets, 2 assists and 1 goal for the past 5 game weeks. He is expected to contribute again against Watford at home. For my second starting 11 defender, I have selected Benjamin Mendy. After the long-awaited return past game week, Benjamin Mendy managed to get 90 minutes and a clean sheet against the high-flying team of Liverpool away from home. Man City have a tempting match against Burnley, who managed to improve their position last 3 game weeks, but are unlikely to take something from City away. Mendy is selected with the idea that he might contribute with a goal or assist, just like he was doing before his injury. My third and last defender is Andrew Robertson, another premium defender in my team with a good possibility of returns. Liverpool play against Huddersfield away, which hold the worst attack record, joint with Cardiff City of 4 goals from 8 matches. Robertson is a great option for possible clean sheet for this week. As my first starting 11 midfielder, I have selected Eden Hazard. Hazard is must-have player right now and has the best total score. His performance this season is consistent and almost all dangerous things in Chelsea's attack come from him. Even though he's playing versus his past manager Jose Mourinho's United, he has proven he can score against big teams and especially United in the past. He is likely to return good amount of points. The only question mark is Mourinho's tactics, which tend to be defensive against big teams. Since his high probability of returning good amount of points, Hazard is selected as my vice-captain. As my second midfielder, I have selected Mohamed Salah. Salah might seem like a doubt since his 2 consecutive blanks, but it's important to understand that they came against Chelsea and City, and away game against Huddersfield is great time for him to get back in form. Another potential problem is his minor muscle injury, but according to informations, he is fit to play and it is worth the risk. Despite his slow start of the season, I sense that he is going to impress soon. This might be a risk, but I believe Salah will deliver, so I give him the captaincy for this game week. For my third starting 11 midfielder, I have selected Richarlison. Richarlison's new position on top of Everton's attack in the last game and his good price of 6.7 million prove he is a great value pick for his price and might cause a lot of problems to Crystal Palace's defense. He is definitely a game changer in Everton's team, so I expect him to deliver good amount of points sooner or later. Crystal Palace don't concede a lot, but they haven't won in their last 3 games and Goodison is always a tough place to conquer. As my final starting 11 midfielder, I have selected Ryan Fraser. Ryan Fraser picked an injury while on international duty and hasn't been training a lot since. He is definitely a risky pick, but good fixture against Southampton at home is worth the risk. The player is in great form, and if he plays, he will be a constant threat to the Saints, which are yet to win away from home. Rumors have it that the player will be ready for Saturday's game, but we are yet to see what is his condition. Andre Schürrle might be a great last-minute substitution if Fraser is still injured. Callum Wilson is my first pick for forwards. Callum Wilson is one of the most consistent players this year. He had returns in Fantasy Premier League points almost every week, only blanking on 2 occasions from 8 matches. Last week, he contributed with a goal and 2 assists against Watford, and this week's game versus Southampton might be successful as well. The price of 6.4 is also another great advantage of this player. For my second forward, I have selected Alexander Mitrovic. Mitrovic was excellent from game week 2 to game week 6. Unfortunately for him, past 2 weeks he hasn't been good enough and blanked. Nevertheless, the fixture against Cardiff is great for him to get back to scoring, since the bad defending record of Cardiff. For my last forward, I have selected Alexandre Lacazette. Lacazette is my premium forward on form. I expect good return from him, since he has been excellent from game week 3 onwards. Even though Leicester are a hard opponent, I can see Lacazette showing his class and returning some points. Arsenal are playing decent football right now, and Lacazette is one of their players in top form. My bench players are a mixture of 2 players with great chance to return and 2 players which are unlikely to score lots of points if any. Button is unlikely to play, but made it to the team as the cheapest option. Laporte and Bennett are good picks, and they could have easily been selected in the starting line. They might come in handy if one of the other defenders surprises us and doesn't play. Lennon has the hard away game versus City and has been selected for his cheap price and almost certain starting position in his Burnley team. So this is it for this week's Dream Team. See you next weekend.